Observer takes place in the cyberpunk future of 2084. Most of the population has augmentations of them, and well, if you've seen one cyberpunk movie, game, or what have you, you know the drill by now. Point is, our story picks up with the detective Daniel Lazarski, who gets a call on a back channel from his son. This alert takes him to a dungy apartment building where he discovers a dead body with a severed head, which may or may not be his son. Then the complex goes on lockdown, and it sort of becomes a Bioshock situation for our gruff detective. No, you're not going to be fending off waves of mutants. It's a much simpler game than that. At its heart, Observer is an adventure game, but one with a slow pace, so perhaps it might be better to categorize it as an advanced walking sim. Genres aside, you'll walk the halls, knocking on doors to talk to secluded citizens in order to learn more about the building, other tenants, and clues about the murder. More often than not, conversations will meander into other topics as an attempt to give the world more context. Religion, politics, personal disorders, and more. Aside from talking disembodied voices, you'll get to explore abandoned apartments. Sometimes you'll find nothing, other times there'll be little set pieces with their own stories not linked to the larger narrative. Again, like Bioshock, the complex in Observer is trying to be a living thing. There's a room that has a similar effect to PT, one you'll dive inside a body, one filled with horrific body parts, and so forth. While this is good in theory, playing the game is just boring. As I said, the game progresses at a snail's pace. Some of the aforementioned conversations are interesting, but most are kind of, let's just go with the dull. What's more, the game is rather dark, and even your 3 types of visions will not brighten things up, which can be frustrating when you're trying to look for clues. I spent more time fighting the UI and getting stuck on easy-to-solve puzzles than I care to admit. Observer is a game that starts strong and seems to have legs, but you soon learn you're trapped in a monotonous maze, padded out with thinly veiled attempts at entertainment. Not to mention it's pretty buggy, which in a way works for the aesthetic, I guess, but the choppy frame rate is just more nauseating than it is cool. But hey, it's great you got Rutger Hauer in it. Too bad his talents are wasted on something not altogether there. It's a great idea in a world I could really get into, but it's just not fun to play or interact with in general. Did you know that was a ReActionExaminer video? If you liked it, you should subscribe to me to keep up with everything that I'm doing. Also, if you have some other interests, like sex for example, check out Tomops, which is a comedy sex podcast thing wherein my best friend and I check out the weird and abnormal and the erotic. And of course you should support me on Patreon because hey, I want to make the channel better and I want your help to do so. Plus, if you want to check out my writing, check out Game Jerk, where I have archives and new stuff for all projects, okay? You can find all the stuff and more in the description with the links below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.